Streaming now, this is the Wood TV Live Desk.
Good morning, everyone. Phil Penarski here with the Wood TV Live Desk. Hope you're having a great start to your Wednesday as well. Governor Gretchen Whitmer will be delivering her State of the State address tonight at 7 p.m. from Lansing later tonight, and we will also be hearing remarks from the GOP Republican response to that address as well following that address, and you can watch it all right over on our website, woodtv.com, as it happens. But leading up to that, we want to kind of give you all a little bit of what we can expect later tonight. So we are now being joined by News8's political reporter, Rick Albin. Rick, thank you so much for stopping by today.
My pleasure, Phil, as always.
And just kind of first off, starting off strong with this question, obviously, we don't know what the governor is specifically going to be talking about, but what can you kind of expect? What are you kind of hearing that she might touch on during her speech?
Well, there are a few things that we're pretty sure she's going to talk about, like universal community college for all graduating seniors coming out of Michigan schools, preschool for all children. These are themes that she's talked about in the past, and they have not yet been fulfilled. I think there could be an affordable housing component in there, but that's speculation as much as anything, and we really won't know until a little later tonight when we'll get an advance copy of that speech. But here's what I can tell you. The governor and Democrats, I think, are going to continue the same aggressive stance that they had last year. Last year when they came in, they had a much different circumstance. They were, for the first time, in the majority for 40 years with both the governor, the Senate, and the House. So that was something new for them. There was a $9 billion surplus, and Democrats had 40 years of pent-up priorities. So they had these priorities they wanted to reach, and they had the money to pay for them. So that was the scene last year, and that is precisely what happened with a cascade of legislation passed in the first 100 days. And then in August, the governor gave what could be considered a second State of the State, laid out another set of priorities. Not all of those were accomplished, but some. And so they have been very aggressive with this newfound power. As it is right now, Democrats do not have the majority in the House. There are 2 vacancies. Once those are filled towards the end of April, I expect those to be filled by Democrats because they're very Democratic seats. So if they indeed get those back, they'll once again be able to pass those priorities that they want to do, and you'll hear about some of those tonight. But part of the difference is, too, that they have a short period of time to do it. It will be essentially for May and June. They want to be out by July, have a budget done, and get back in campaign. So the period of time to pass legislation is shorter, and the amount of money will be far less. That $9 billion surplus is gone. Revenues are coming in at or about where they expected them to, but there isn't going to be a lot of surplus money if they're going to maintain the budgets of last year. So they'll have some financial constraints, some time constraints, for now some vote constraints. So whatever the governor proposes this year is probably not going to be dispatched as quickly as it was last year, Phil.
Right. And, you mentioned that last year during the State of the State, Democrats were in a completely different environment, something that they maybe hadn't been able to experience, having that majority. I mean, do you see a whole lot of differences in the way, maybe the tone, the attitude of the governor's speech and how she kind of delivers it and the things she might mention compared to last year?
Well, I think that she'll spend some time talking about some of those things that they see as achievements from last year. I don't expect Democrats to take their foot off the gas. I was talking with the governor and at least one state representative just a few weeks ago, and they still are very anxious to continue what they see as their agenda and continue to push that through while they can. And here's the reality. Once you get to July and you have a budget done, lawmakers are going to be, particularly in the House, Senate is not up for election, but lawmakers in the House are going to be very anxious to go back into their districts and campaign. So that's going to take up a good deal of the summer. So July and August, and probably a good deal of September and October, there will not be much session, and then you'll have that election in November. If Democrats maintain control of the House in November, that guarantees them full control for another 2 years, and there won't be a great deal of urgency, I don't think, to get things done, because they'll be right back next January in the same situation. If, on the other hand, Republicans can flip 3 seats in the House, and they have the majority coming back in January, expect November and December to be a flurry of activity as Democrats will try to pass everything they possibly can before losing that majority. That's all speculative. We'll have to wait and see what happens with this election. There are a lot of variables that could take place, but that's kind of the way I see it, kind of a couple of months in May and June, a break during the summer, into the fall, then the election, and from there we'll see the rest of the activity for the year. But for tonight, it's going to be all about the expectations, what the governor wants to achieve. She'll lay out her agenda tonight, and then next month she'll lay out her budget that will support that agenda, and we'll see exactly where the dollars and cents match up with the priorities that she talks about tonight.
Well, as you mentioned, it does all kick off tonight at 7 p.m. I do want to remind everybody that we will be live streaming the entire State of the State address over on our website, woodtv.com, and we'll also be airing it on WXSP as well. Rick, we know that you got to head out to Lansing in a little bit, so we're going to let you go. Really appreciate you stopping by the live desk today.
Thank you. Thank you.
Of course. And I want to thank everybody else for tuning into this latest edition of the Wood TV Live Desk. I'm Phil Pinarski, and we hope you have a great rest of your day.